Welcome back to today's video. I really didn't want to make a video about this just because I thought it was so dumb, and then then I see so many people talking about this, so many other YouTubers, other podcasts, all sorts of other media outlets talking about this. The recent Nintendo Switch 2 news is that Switch 2 could have two screens, or it being another device that they're making that has two screens, and it's frankly kind of bonkers. This was originally noticed by Game Rant. They first spotted the schematics, or rather the patent, for this dual screen gaming device that operates sort of like a 3DS or like a DS. When it flips open, reveals two playable, screens that you can have content on, and then another screen on the outside. I don't know if this is like a 3-screen device, or if the top screen is like rotatable, or it can be turned around in some fashion. And it doesn't show removable controllers on the bottom screen. So this could either be like another, separate device that's like, how they had the Wii, just a cheaper, lower cost, alternative gaming device. It's like a sequel to the 3DS. Or it could be the Switch 2, or some variant of the Switch 2. And they originally filed for the patent way back last year, November 11th of 2022. That's basically a year ago now. And it's not a very, descriptive patent, I'd say. There's just not a lot to it. And it is actually a very interesting idea. Bringing back the dual screens will definitely help things like NSO. NSO is currently in a weird spot. All the games they could add, the probably only next section I think they could reliably add is probably like GameCube and maybe Wii, if they find some way to make motion controls more transferable between the Joy-Cons and stuff. But that I've never liked how the Joy-Cons handled motion controls, because it doesn't have the sensor bar, and the sensor bar was like 90% of it. How it felt a lot better to use than how the Joy-Cons feel. Don't even get started by using the Pro Controller. It's horrible. But having this dual screen could enable Nintendo to add DS games to NSO, and that would make those games play a lot better. But my biggest fear is if they go down this dual screen K-hole, is if they add the second screen, would it deter, third-party developers? Would it make it so it's not worth redeveloping their game to add some sort of functionality for the second screen? Because though I know it is not as simple as, just porting your game over and just boom, it's done. Upload in Switch format and it's done. There's a lot of work that goes into making redeveloping your game for another platform, or porting it to another platform rather. But I feel like adding the second screen, or a third screen, depending if that's what this is, could definitely deter some game developers from even adding their games to this. And that's where my theory comes in, of the third screen option, where the device closes and it's just one screen, might be for games that only use the single screen. And if it is in fact detachable, like some people are saying it is, it could be the fact that you can detach it and almost have like a sort of a Wii U situation. You dock the bottom portion, you keep the top portion that has a screen on it, and sort of use it sort of like a Wii U gamepad, so you can maintain the dual screen functionality. But that just seems cumbersome. It seems like a bit much. It's that Nintendo gabagool that just, I hope that they actually don't do, because that would probably drive me insane. Like, I loved the Wii U, but the two screens, it was a bit much. Like, I just wanted to play Mario, and now I have to like get the gamepad and shit. It's a whole ordeal every time. But it is an interesting idea, and it could be done incredibly well. I mean, this is Nintendo. Like, they've proven dual screens can be a brilliant thing to have. But it just seems complicated when you try to adapt it to a home console setup. Example, the fucking Wii U is a massive failure. And I think the Wii U could have done a lot better, one, without having the gamepad added, increasing the cost of the system, which would have been awesome if you removed the gamepad and you maybe make the whole the price of the system $50 cheaper and had a better marketing budget. It would have probably done pretty good in retrospect if they killed the gamepad and put the money that they would have made into developing the gamepad into the marketing budget, so it isn't just advertising to children who want a Wii U, I guess. That was just a horrible ad campaign. I remember that one commercial where it was the group of children trying to convince their parents to get the Wii U because it has Mario, and they had like this whole weird presentation. That was a horrible ad campaign. Tangent aside, it is an incredibly bizarre device that this patent really shows off, and the likelihood of this being the Nintendo Switch 2 is incredibly low. It could be some sort of low power alternative. Maybe it could play Switch games, but it might just be like an NSO device where you just play games off of NSO the whole time. I'm not entirely sure, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense, is I think what I'm boiling this down to. This patent proves nothing. It just means Nintendo has an idea. I don't know if you guys remember all the patents, all the documents, all the schematics we got before the Switch came out. Remember that one where it had like a screen in the controller and it was like just a teardrop shape? That one was crazy and clearly never got made into anything. So I think it's just best to have your expectations absurdly low, because this makes very little sense. It's a really interesting idea, and if it does come to fruition, I would be skeptical, but I definitely won't be not interested in it. I definitely still buy it because Nintendo I'm addicted to Nintendo. I can't quit it, and that's just what Nintendo does to people. So whether you like it or not, and if this becomes the next Nintendo gaming device, it would at least be more successful than the Wii U. Might not end up being as successful as Switch 1, but it'd still be pretty good in the long term. But I could be wrong. It could be fantastic. If this does become the Switch 2, I'll be thoroughly surprised. But it could go gangbusters. It could go to the moon, baby. But like I said before, it's important to keep your expectations low because we've had a long history of seeing many schematics, many blueprints and patents and people discovering these things from years go by, and just them being either just horrible ideas, crazy ideas, or what the final console ends up looking like. We've had so many different ideas of what the Switch 2 is. It's really hard to really narrow it down at this point now. Like in the early days, you could say, oh, for some certainty, it's this. It's gonna be just a Switch, but cooler. But now where there's so many other rumors out there, it's really hard to narrow down, say definitively this is what it's gonna be. I'm still of the opinion it's gonna be Switch 1, but cooler. It's gonna have the same functionality. Dock it, take it out. Might have a nicer screen, might have different Joy-Cons, might be a little bit bigger, but functionally it's going to be exactly the same as the current Switch, because I think Nintendo would be stupid if they completely, changed the whole idea of what they're doing up, because this schematic, I think is what Kotaku called it, but I think it's just a patent. This patent doesn't show anything to do with a docking mechanism. If anything, it just looks like a DS, like a 2DS XL with a screen on the outside. So it only shows one analog stick. At least I think that's what it is. I'll have the pictures on screen, but like you can see it. Like functionality, it feels like it's missing a lot of buttons. And I'm sure that this wouldn't be like the final design, obviously. but it feels like it's so bare bones. It's like they just only have the idea of it. They just want to cover their bases just to make sure that nobody can take the idea rather than ever do anything with it. So those are the current rumors regarding the Switch 2 and this patent. So what are your thoughts? Would you be interested in a dual or tri-screen, gaming device from Nintendo? What are your thoughts? Do you believe that this is how the Switch 2 is going to be? I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts down below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and all the other social media garbage down below. Thank you for subscribing. We have now hit 500 subscribers. I had recently applied for the YouTube, membership program thing, and my channel is currently being reviewed. So cross your fingers. Hopefully that happens at some point. It says it could take up to a month, so that's fun. And thanks for all the support and all the you people watching. And hope you have a wonderful day. Deuces.